What's up? My name is Mike, and today I'm test driving this 2019 Toyota 4Runner with the TRD Off Road package. I'm going to give you 10 things to love about this SUV and 3 gripes at the end, starting right now. Hey, what's up? So I am test driving, as I mentioned, this 2019 Toyota 4Runner. If you're new to this channel, my name is Mike. I do car, truck, and SUV reviews. I'm still learning YouTube. Give me a comment. Let me know what I could improve on, what you would like to see, or something interesting. Okay, as I mentioned, I'm gonna give you 10 cool things about this SUV. So number 10 has got to be the off-road capability of this SUV. It's renowned, it's known, it's one of the few competitors that can keep up with the Jeep when it comes to being off-road. It doesn't have the convertible feel that a Jeep does. It's more hard shell, but that may actually be better for you if you're in a colder climate like the Midwest or Northeast or something. You may want that. But the off-road capability of this SUV, combined with its racing pedigree, the TRD off-road package. So this knob right here is for selecting the multi-terrain select, and that will automatically adjust the brake and throttle response as best used in that specific type of terrain. It's got a low, medium, and high, which will help reduce the amount of gas so that the gas isn't as punchy or the brakes aren't as responsive when you want them to be. And that makes this vehicle as off-road capable as really anything that's on the market. Number nine is the cargo space. This is a true sport utility vehicle. When I say true, I mean it's truck based, it's not car based. It has a lot of space in the trunk. It has a lot of space in the rear seats right here. It has cup holder space everywhere. The seats fit a larger person, and it can also be equipped with a third row. This one does not have it, but that leaves a ton of trunk space. You got room for almost any kind of trip that 2 or 4 people would take. Lots of room for luggage and all kinds of stuff. You can get it equipped with bike racks, surfboard racks, anything that you do that's adventurous. You can outfit this truck to fit that purpose. Number 8, the interior controls. So this SUV was designed to be tough, to be durable. As you can tell, these knobs are huge. They are almost all knob controlled, and the buttons that are here are really large. They are designed to be used with gloves on when it's cold. And they're also designed to be easy to kind of grip and grab without having some small dainty knobs. They're also really tough. I think that's an excellent feature. Number 7 for me is the exterior styling. I like the styling of the 4Runner. I think that it's unusual. It stands out. I think everybody's gone to some various form of a bubble look, and then more recently everyone's kind of got this razor edge. All the designs are really cutting and slashing. This has its own unique feel. It stays true to kind of its long-term heritage with the kind of looks like a Tacoma with the bed cover on it, but has its own styling as well. The other thing I really like that they do with the 4Runner is this is a TRD Off Road, which has a unique grille setup. It's got the air intake at the front, although I believe it's fake, but that looks much different than the limited model, which has a completely different front end. If GM did this, they would sell that difference under a complete different brand and call it a different name. So kudos to Toyota to separating the trim levels, not just in terms of what features it has, but also in terms of its look. I think that a Limited looks much more classy, has more road manners, whereas this looks just tough. So number 6 has got to be the name. How many of you ever played the old arcade game called Super Off Road? It was a 4-person arcade game in the late 80s, early 90s that featured Toyota trucks racing on an off-road track. And if you remember back to that time, Toyota was the main name in the game for kind of off-road racing for smaller trucks. Their Toyota Hilux was prior to what is now called the Tacoma. Back in the 80s, there was a need for, you know, kind of the shell top that went over the back. Donut Media has a really cool video kind of outlining the whole history of the 4Runner. I'll post a link here, but make sure you come back to my video if you go check it out. But the point is, even the name 4Runner came from the idea that they had these racing teams, and they would have pre-runners, which Tacoma 4x2s were called. Pre-runners would go before the race truck to kind of chart the path, and they were lightly modified, but were 2-wheel drive, but had the off-road suspension. They called them pre-runners. And then a 4Runner was a you know, the SUV that followed the race truck. So the pre-runner and 4Runner kind of go together. Obviously they changed it to 4 as in 4-wheel drive. But if you like this video, click that like button. I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers. Consider subscribing. I have videos just like this one every Monday. Number 5 is its crawl function. Now that's an acronym, it's C-R-A-W-L. I'm not gonna go into what all that is, but the point is you've got a quick select that will allow you to put it in descend mode or ascend mode, and you've got the different types of terrain. So what you do is you put your foot on the brake, you select the mode or the type of terrain that you're trying to climb, you turn it on, and then you take your hands off the wheel, or excuse me, off the brakes and gas. All you've got to do is steer, and it's going to ensure that it applies the right amount of throttle response and braking to take you through the terrain. I tried it a little bit. I didn't have the opportunity to go anywhere significantly off-road, but it's a really cool feature. It's also on the Tacoma. Number 4, the powertrain. Now I know what you're saying or what you're thinking. The V6 in this 4Runner is a dated, old Toyota engine. That is true, but it's also time-tested, it's durable, and it's proven. And by proven, I mean it's been proven to be able to put a lot of miles on it. You can put 200,000 miles on this with only, you know, oil changes and changing, you know, some of the normal stuff that you would always have to change. But the transmission and engine are proven tough, durable, and long-lasting. I think that's a great feature of the Toyota 4Runner. Number 3, I'm going to just say this. I love that this truck drives like a truck. It is not a car-based sport utility vehicle. It's a truck-based sport utility vehicle, which means it sits up taller. It's harder to get in if you're short, but that's the point, that you can get over stuff. You're gonna need ground clearance. It's not made to drive like a car. It's meant to drive like an SUV should. It also has the towing capacity, the storage space, all the things that, you know, old school SUVs, things like the Bronco, the Blazer, the 2-door Tahoe, you know, even the old Ram Charger, or the, what was that Ram called? Leave it in the comments. I can't remember what it is right now. But those old 80s and 70s SUVs were trucks with a bed cover on them. And that's what this still is. I mean, it's got refinement and it's its own personality, but in the end, it's based on a truck platform. I think that's one of the coolest things about a 4Runner. So number 2 I'm gonna give you is the TQR rating, as total quality and reliability. That's something Toyota is known for. They sit at the top of the pack or near the top on almost all of their vehicles. This is no exception. The engine, the frame, the build quality are all such that they're durable and long lasting, which is why people buy Toyotas and they hold on to them. And it's also why their resale value is retained. They still sit above most of their SUV counterparts who take huge drops, especially after like 5 years. So that is one of the coolest features about owning a 4Runner. All right, I'm gonna give you my last cool feature without a doubt, and they're the only ones who do this. is the rear window. You can drop down all 4 windows, open up the rear hatch, and it's like you're outside, but you still have a hard top. So while it's not as convertible as a Jeep, I think it's awesome. Definitely gives you an open air feel. Wind flows right through here if you're on the beach or in the mountains or anywhere where that fresh air is really part of the experience. The 4Runner doesn't hide from it. It brings it inside. There are a lot of mosquitoes here right now, so I'm going to roll the windows back up. Okay, I'm gonna give you 3 gripes as usual. Thanks for sticking around if you're still here. So the first one is kind of well documented about the 4Runner, but that's the seating position. It's such that it feels like it needs to be a little taller or it needs to be a little lower. I feel like the way that my legs are, again, I'm a little over 6'1", where I feel like my legs are at a weird position. I want them to be flatter or taller like a truck, and it's just kind of in the middle. And I think because of that, it just makes it a little bit uncomfortable, especially for a longer term. Now, maybe if you're a shorter person, you don't have this issue. So number 2 is the technology is a little bit outdated. So the key itself is analog. It plugs into the neck. You got to start it. There's no remote start available. The infotainment system is outdated. It doesn't include CarPlay. There isn't a lot of apps there or even functionality. They need to update this system. It is just way behind. Toyota, get with the program on that one. Number 3 is the powertrain. I mentioned that it was proven and durable, but it's also outdated. They could put a better transmission on this V6. Additionally, a turbocharged 4-cylinder or something like that should definitely be offered as an option. Hey, real quick, thank you so much for watching this video. If you could click that like button, that helps me get my video out there more. I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers. If you would consider subscribing, if you found this video interesting, funny, informative, whatever, leave a comment, let me know how you feel, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.